Right, today's job is doing the rocker cover gasket on my Astra VXR. I've not done one of these before on this engine, but I've done some on some other cars. So this is the first time for me, and you can watch this video if you want to do one yourself and to see how to do it. First things first, I'm going to let the car just cool down a bit as I've just driven up to my workshop and it's quite hot, as you can hear. So we'll let it cool and then we'll crack on. The gasket I've got here is an L-ring one. I believe this is genuine. What they came with from the factory. I got this from Nevlock, so I'm going to assume so, but yeah, this is what we'll be changing. So for getting these bolts off on the rocker cover, I've got myself one of these little tools. It's basically just a hex tool, but you can put it onto a socket. I'd recommend you use one of these rather than something like an Allen key. One, just because you don't want to round or shear off the bolts or anything like that, and secondly, you will need to torque these down to spec, so you're going to want to be able to get a torque wrench on them. First things first, we're going to start with the coil pack cover and getting the coil pack off. So it's just this clip here and this plug. Take that off, give that a good whack, and that'll lift off. And then for the bolts on your coil pack, you're going to want a Torx 30, which again, I'd recommend a socket type, not like an Allen wrench. Then once you've got them bolts out, just firmly pull up on the coil pack, give it a bit of a wiggle, and it should just lift out. It's a little bit difficult one-handed, but there you go. Just like that, coil pack's out. All right, once you've disconnected your oil breather, I have mine going to a catch can, but a lot of people, they'll have theirs run off here and come down into this pipe. Just get rid of it, make sure it's out the way. And then the next step is this oil return line. You just want to take that off the head. All right, next up is your one-way valve. Again, same process. Just get that small clamp off, get it out the way, and then you should be able to just wiggle this off like that. Once you've got all of the lines disconnected from the head, you're going to want to move on to this cam sort of cover thing here. You're going to have two E10 bolts on the side of this. Now these are basically, if it will focus, just like an opposite Torx. So go ahead and remove both of them. There's one located at the bottom of it there, just beneath my catch can, and then the other one is just down there. I know you can't see too well, but they're not too hard to find. With that done, this cover will just lift off out the way, and then you can remove that, and now you can see the cams. All right, as for this plug here, all you want to do is get a flathead screwdriver down inside there and push that metal clip towards the plug while you pull on it, and it should just lift out. And there you go, just like that, the plug's off, and you can just sort of pull that out of the way. All right, so as for these cables, I've just lifted them over and rested them on like next to the cams, just so they're out of the way. Obviously, just remember to put them back, otherwise you're not going to get your cam cover back on. Right, with everything removed, we can now start cracking off the actual rocker cover bolts. Just thought I'd mention as well, when you're taking these bolts out, bear in mind they do have a little washer on them, and you do not want to lose that, so keep hold of them washers. All right, with all them bolts removed, you just want to go ahead and grab somewhere around here, firmly pull the cover, and you will start to feel it just lift, and then ever so gently you can take it off and out of the way. Just bring the old gasket with you. Okay, and there we go, that is the rocker cover fully off. The next step we're going to do is we're going to clean all the surface where the new rocker cover is going to sit on top of the head. That way we don't have any lumps or bumps and we get a nice smooth surface. Cool, so I've gone ahead and cleaned all around the edges and along the inside where the new cover will sit. And as you can see, it's nice and shiny apart from just a few little drips of oil here that I can't get to, but they're not problematic. The main thing that you want to ensure is that there are no old pieces of rubber anywhere around this, especially in these half moon sections or just anywhere in general. Now, as for the rocker cover itself, this next step isn't important. However, I'm going to do it just because I want to. I'm going to go ahead and blast this off, clean it down with the air compressor, clean it up with some brake cleaner before I get it back on the car. Now, while we're at this point, you'll notice there's a seal along here for where the bolts go through the cover. Now, you will get these included with the kit. So again, just go ahead and pop these out. You'll probably want something small like this, just a little pick to get them out. but it's important you change these with the rest of the cover. All right, I've gone ahead and cleaned up the rocker cover, removed all the old seals. Now I'm just going to go ahead and replace them. Cool, that's all the new seals installed. You should just be able to push these in by hand. As you can see, they do have two small little slots either side of them that will help hold them in place. So just go ahead and push them in down with your finger and they shouldn't come back out. Next, we can go ahead and install the gasket onto the cover. There's the gasket all installed on the cover. And then with that done, we can go ahead and just get it pushed back down onto the head. Make sure everything lines up and it's firmly pressed down on there before we start getting the bolts in. Okay, we're going to be following this procedure for putting the bolts in. This is the pattern you want to use, and we're going to tighten them all down to 8 Newton meters. I'll put this picture on screen for you now. And that is now each bolt torqued to spec. And just like that, I've gone ahead and reinstalled the oil feed, the catch can, the one-way valve, plugged that back in, reinstalled the cam cover, coil packs back on, covers on, and everything's plugged in. I didn't feel like filming all of this because, again, it's just a reverse of everything you've taken off. So if you do get a bit lost, just go back through the video and do the exact opposite of it. But yeah, there you go. That is how to change the rocker cover gasket on your Z20LEH/LET. Thanks for watching.